Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods.
AKA one flannel, one sweater. We're talking to you guys, and it's helping us feel better.
AKA the 2021 pop culture predictions, our stereo app fun with the hot Sklarburns editions. Thanks to Sarah Dunn at Dumb People Town, at Dun People Town for the assist. That's Mike Huddleston. I love it when our fans get together.
When they name check other fans, it just
I
makes
love
us
on
damn
stereo
happy.
when we do a stereo conversation and J Logic talks to Sarah Dunn.
Boom.
Our LA guy talking to our Ireland gal. I absolutely love it. You guys, this is a community, and that is what is so much fun about the stereo things. If you're not up on stereo, follow us on stereo, me and Jay, and we do this. We do the after conversation. Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. And on Fridays, we do Sports Talk Friday. I love it so much. Today is Friday as this thing is dropping, and we're
That's
doing
right.
Sports Talk Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. on Monday and Wednesday for the Sklar Country, the virus edition, and 4 p.m. Tuesdays for Dumb People Town. Just
We got you
join
covered.
us. We got
Lots
you
of
covered.
entertainment every day.
Lots of content, lots of entertainment. It's a great discussion. Let's jump into the story, shall we?
Okay, one of the issues with being cooped up for this long in the pandemic is that our kids, and oftentimes we ourselves, find ourselves ensconced in our devices.
Yeah, if you're a gamer, like ensconced in the virtual worlds of video games, you
Then
understand this.
You're deep. So kids and adults, like we have a lot of friends who are adults who are video gamers. My son is definitely, traipsed through that world, and so I'm more aware of it. For many people, and I'm going to say this, the reality of their games are more prevalent.
It's more real than real life.
Well, they're certainly in it more. They're more familiar with those worlds, and oftentimes, I don't know if you've seen these things. They feel
I have it. Like I'm not.
So I remember last spring I went over I was going to Dan Van Kirk's house, and this was after they had canceled the baseball season. I walk into his apartment.
They didn't cancel it, but they were off.
They
for
were
a long
postponed.
time.
Right. And I walk in and I see on the TV there's a Cubs game on, and I'm watching a few pitches, and I'm watching it happen. And I say to Dan, I'm like, is this an old Cubs game? Because I thought baseball is canceled. And he said, oh no, that's MLB The Show. That's a video game on my TV. I was like,
okay.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the sound of the crowd, the actions, the behavior of the pitchers. I was playing with my son NBA 2K.
Yeah.
Have you ever played that?
I have not.
NBA 2K21. And the announcers are like, it's
Kevin Harlan, Doris Burke. I know
Chris
those
Webber,
guys.
right?
Oh my God.
And they're all talking about needing to get, this is during my son and my game, during our game where we're putting up shots. There's an ongoing conversation between these guys about the need for more women in the front office of NBA organizations.
awesome.
And Doris Burke basically having the same conversation she had in her Real Sports interview where I'm like, is she tearing up on my NBA 2K broadcast? She's talking about how much love she had for basketball and how there are out there women who love the game. And I'm like, this is more real than a game even. It's
like and then they pause in between this deep discussion to say that Paul George inbounds the ball to Kawhi Leonard.
with a tomahawk jam in Harden's face. Kawhi.
Oh, Kawhi. Why aren't there more women in the front office?
Kawhi, aren't there more women? And it was one of those things. And speaking of a slam in the face, Doris, you had some thoughts about needing more women in our faces.
Front office roles.
New faces. It was such a fascinating thing, and I loved it. And it did speak to the fact that video games in general are getting more real. Mm-hmm. They are getting the realities are. If that's a reality that we're out in more than the world as a reality,
I mean,
you can see how mentally a little bit you start to feel more comfortable perhaps in the game.
Yeah.
than in the world, and I don't know. The fact that she was tearing up in that broadcast,
it's unbelievable.
So now, though, it's
Obviously, games like Fortnite are far from reality.
right, but there are games like I said, NBA 2K. I think Grand Theft Auto, which I haven't really played,
Nor
I'm
have
going to
I.
admit that I haven't played that. I think it feels pretty realistic, and they're a little closer to reality than I think people are.
So it's now come to the attention that this line of reality that's being blurred between video games and real life
is maybe starting to affect real life. And GTA, Grand Theft Auto, is coming under attack in Illinois with lawmakers looking for ways to link it to a rash of carjackings in an attempt to ban it.
So let's get into it.
Let's get into it, okay? Because I have complicated feelings about this, and I can see the point on some level, but at the same time, I'm against banning things.
Yeah.
Okay. People have been saying now for months that teens running around Chicago and carjacking motorists are doing it like it's a video game.
Well, who's saying that?
That's
What people are saying
yeah.
that? Who's saying? Where are they saying that?
And by the way, no one likes a carjacking. Nobody except the carjacker. And I'm sure, by the way, if it happened to me, I'd be the first in line to squirt some earth on this subject
That's right.
and go after these people. And it's awful.
I feel like if you carjack someone, you should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
I mean, the fear of that, like you're out in the world and someone points a gun at you and then takes your car away. That's awful.
Unbelievable.
But now
violating.
Local lawmakers are doubling down on that idea, saying that the video game Grand Theft Auto should be banned. Now, I'm going to try and be as even-handed as I can in my analysis of this.
Let's try and do that.
And we'll give it a shot. Okay, we've already set up that we've been quarantined for a long time.
Playing video games more than we've ever played.
Also, we made it clear a few minutes ago that we believe that the realities of video games
You walked into a video game and thought it was a real baseball game.
It's spooky. Okay, we've established that. And yet
we can fully draw the line between what's real and what's not.
And when it comes to violence.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. Millions of kids play these games.
That's right.
There are not millions of carjackings every day.
I mean, if you could draw a direct one-to-one correlation where everyone who watches the game will then go out and carjack a car, then you have a case.
Okay. It's about the individual people who are committing the crimes and the real-world situations that they live in that allow that to become an option.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Now, maybe on some level, the people who are predisposed to like have that be a real option for them might be slightly desensitized to having seen it more often on their in video games.
Maybe.
But you got to ask yourself, like,
is banning the game going to slow it down? That's the question.
That's the question. So some of the carjacker suspects are not even old enough to drive. On Monday, a 16-year-old was charged, and days ago, 2 15-year-olds were arrested and charged as well. Well, the 16-year-old is old enough to drive, correct?
All these cases sound terrible, by the way.
Yes. But I'm not hearing those numbers cracking down on thousands of carjacking. I'm not hearing like a new rash.
Not cracking down, cracking the thousands.
Right.
In
Yeah.
numbers.
I'm not hearing like a need to crack down on thousands of new cases. I'm not hearing a rash so great and coming in communities where there haven't been carjackings before. So I'm not.
And like people carjack, strip the car, and then spray paint GTA. Thanks, GTA, for showing me how to do this on the side.
Wouldn't there be, and this is my question, and maybe I'm wrong, but wouldn't there be Reddit threads where people would be like talking about it happening?
If the theories, this is like New York fashion. Remember we stepped on the New York subway, and all of a sudden everyone was wearing those bear coats. Right. Everybody was. You looked at like 15-year-old kids on a subway in New York in 1994 and we're like, that's the next thing I have to get. Remember the bear coats?
Yes, I remember.
I got to get the bear coat. That's the next coat I got to get.
Right.
And we went out and we bought bear coats, and I bought a little bear coat. It was not the bear, but it was like the 14th Street version of the bear. And then it was Timberlands. Everybody wore Timberlands. And you're like, I know that's coming from somewhere, but everybody wore those brown Timberlands with the dark brown leather around the top. And we're like, you saw it on the subway. This is where it starts.
So the theories need to be coming from young people.
That's
They can't be coming from the people who are afraid that this is happening. Philanthropist Early Walker says violent video games like GTA could be influencing their young minds.
Could be influencing.
So off of a could be, we're going to ban a whole video game?
They could be.
They could be. And just because you're a philanthropist, that doesn't mean you get to start shaping policy, right?
Also, your name is a descriptive phrase that describes our mother.
She's an early walker.
She likes to walk at malls early in the morning.
And when she dies, we'll call her late walker. May she rest in peace someday, and I don't want to think about that.
Not our mom. I'm talking about early walker.
Okay.
When early walker dies, she's late walker.
That's right. She's late early walker.
Late early walker.
Walker met with Illinois State Representative. So, I mean, again, you give money and then you have all this access.
Don't let her meet with anybody.
Marcus Evans in January, and from there, legislation was drafted to amend a 2012 law preventing some games, including GTA, from being sold to children in Illinois. They should, okay. I'm all right. I'm going to say this, and maybe this is the solution. I'm going to say no kid under 17 should get this game if you're fearful, okay? I think 17, 18 is a good cutoff. I think at that point, if you're going to be carjacking someone, a video game isn't going to be influencing you. 10, 11, 12, maybe there's some more influence in there than that. But I think things like TikTok and I think things like Snapchat, other things are influencing kids more than...
TikTok influences them more than anything else.
It's amazing to me they would think about banning it before restricting it to like, say, 21 and older.
Yeah.
And I know they talked about amending
Start with a step before you want to restrict the game. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to finish this up. Tell us if we're wrong. Maybe we'll talk about it later on the Stereo app.
Yeah, I'm curious.
And we'll talk about it maybe on Monday on the Stereo app. This is Sklar Country the Virus Edition. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. As we mentioned, get your tickets for the live stand-up show that we're doing on March 20th and cheap seats.
There's going to be cheap seats in there.
We're going to try and do cheap seats with some video footage that you've never seen before. Hopefully you've never seen. We're going to make jokes. You've never heard our jokes. We're going to do on it.
Right on.
I can't wait to do that. And if it's fun and it's successful, we'll maybe start doing that every month. That would be a blast to do. Nowhere Comedy Club.
yes.
Eventbrite.com. Get your tickets. Also, we have another live Dumb People Town happening on April 10th. Get your tickets at Eventbrite.com. Follow us on the Stereo app. Now, before we took a break, we were talking about how
the state of Illinois is trying to ban Grand Theft Auto. It's not clear exactly to how huge the ban is going to be. Is it a ban across the board?
Is
or
it a ban
just for
certain
children?
age groups? Yeah.
And we say, look, if you're going to ban it at all, ban like 21 and under. Or 18 and under. I think 18 is a decent age.
I want to know what other countries have banned the game, right?
I'm trying to think. They said 5 other countries have banned it.
So who banned it?
Canada? We don't need carjacking up there.
We need moose jacking, okay?
I jacked a moose right outside of a Tim Hortons when I was coming out.
I jacked it up.
Right in Hamilton, eh?
Italy.
I don't like it, a carjack.
It's not a good carjack.
I don't like it. Germany is definitely one of them.
They definitely like to keep things in order. And when they carjack, and when they end carjacking, they end and ban games, they ban them on time.
They work like clockwork over there. Japan. Now, Japan is another country where they have banned Grand Theft Auto.
You're going to show respect.
If you're going to show respect to someone in Japan by taking off your shoes at their house,
you're probably not going to pull them out of a car at a stoplight and take their car.
That's right. Australia.
They've already got the stigma of being convicts from England.
That's right.
You don't want to keep that up.
So
no need to bump that up a notch. There's video games that promote that.
This past Friday, a former police officer was carjacked in his own driveway in the south suburbs.
Okay, so that is going to... Once you do that to that person, that's when things start to accelerate.
This is why I think we've got a story on our hands.
That's right.
And the car was later found in Harvey with the young suspect still in it.
Yeah, I think
someone should be scaring these kids straight.
And I'm happy for that. That could be great.
And this is what the cop said. These guys feel like they're going to get right back out, especially since they're juveniles, said the retired police officer, Vincent Sims.
And he probably feels like Grand Theft Auto is the reason that they went out and jacked it in the first place.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I think we need to come up with more creative punishments because that might be true. They might say, oh, I'll just go into juvie for a few months and who cares?
So how about this?
Creative punishments for kids who carjack.
Let's come up with more creative punishments right here.
Instead of carjacking.
Incarcerating them.
Right. Instead of incarcerating them, the cops should gain access to their social media feeds and destroy their reputations.
Right. Post lame videos that just get them so downgraded.
Make them apologize on TikTok over and over.
On TikTok?
TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Over and over and over and over and over and over for their actions.
Force them to post like Bible verses on Instagram. Yeah. And that's when God was carrying me.
And they should also post on TikTok.
And TikTok.
DePaul University psychology professor Leonard Jason told Fox 32 the game could be the cause of the violence, but that's not the only factor.
Yeah, that's what we said. It
may be a factor. But it's not the only factor. So we can't.
No one is against carjacking as a senseless crime more than us. We are
super, but we need to make sure we're being smart about how we attack the problem. Once again,
I would ask you this question. If you ban the video game, do you think that carjackings are going to go way down?
No,
they're not.
We have the solution of how to solve the carjacking problem by juveniles. You mess with their social media.
That's right.
All right? You get up on their Instagram. You make them in their stories have to apologize. On TikTok, instead of doing dances, I did this thing wrong. You have to listen to me. Long, long, long explanations. Throw some Bible verses up on Snapchat. This is how we're going to get these people.
Because if you embarrass these kids
through their social media platforms
and make them embarrass themselves, that is the 2021 version of grabbing their hand and making them punch themselves. And why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
That's the scarlet A on the sweater.
That's right.
That's what it is right now. You need to make a social... forget
the blue check mark on social media. Put a
scarlet A. That's public shaming 101.
Scarlet A for
You want some public
for
shaming?
asshole.
Yes, A is for asshole.
That's what you get. And that is the show. That is how we do it. Stay connected, stay protected, don't get infected. This is not a hoax, but we've got the jokes. We will see you guys tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da.